Outside of my studio, on my balcony, and this is really lovely here. There's some palm trees around me. I can't see the sea from here. The sea is only about 10 minutes walk from here, and lovely azure beaches. It's really pretty here. I am playing around with encaustic wax today, and I want to show you how to make your own encaustic wax. I sourced this beeswax on the island. It's a fairly brown beeswax, but it still works. I'm going to show you how I use it, and I'm going to add Damar crystals to the beeswax, and the Damar crystals are added 1 to 20 or 15% or 20% of the Damar crystals to beeswax. And what it does, it raises the temperature of the beeswax to a higher temperature. I believe it's from 65 to 85 degrees, and in this humid climate of ours, warm and humid, if you use just plain beeswax, then your paintings get soft and they smudge easily. So it's essential to add Damar crystals when you live in such a warm humid climate like we. And it's absolutely incredible things that you can do with encaustic wax. I have been playing around with it, and I am very far from done. And the first thing you need to do is the Damar crystals themselves come in fairly big chunks. I'm going to show you. I mean, look at this. This is all made from the tree gum. Same, this turns into amber. This tree gum comes from trees that are harvested in Asia, and the tree itself is not hurt by the harvesting of this, because it oozes out of the tree, and so people pick this, and there can be a little bit of impurities within it because it's just the way it is. But in order to use this effectively, I have to break it down into smaller pieces. So what I do is I put it into my plastic bag like that, and after putting that in, I'm going to heat it with my hammer and break it into much smaller pieces. So just give it a soft tap like that, and I just want to break up all the crystals into small little pieces. Then they will melt easier in my skillet. The Damar crystals, once they start melting, they're very sticky, I can tell you. And it's not an easy thing to work with, but you save heaps of money by making your own encaustic wax the way I do it. So there we go. It's now in a fine powder like that, and we're going to put this fine powder into the little stainless steel bowl. This is about 40 grams, and we're going to use 250 grams of beeswax. So we just need to make sure that we get it all in there. There we go. And now I have to crank up the heat a little bit. I found this lovely little stove, one plate stove, that you can literally take from max down, but you don't want to overheat it, because once you overheat it, you destroy the integrity of the material. Now this is quite important. You put some wax, just a little bit of beeswax with it, just to help it to mix originally. And I've got a little bit of microcrystalline wax as well that I'm going to add. That's a 20-30 microline crystalline wax. That's going to help it to melt. And this is a slow process, and it becomes very sticky, as you can see. I don't know if you can see this, but it becomes an extremely sticky business. And you just have to use patience and heat all of this up until it is all melted. going to take a while. Right, once it starts melting, we'll start stirring it. Right, the wax is starting to melt now, as you can see, and it's a very sticky mess, and we've got to melt it completely. The reason why we put a bit of beeswax in there to melt it is otherwise it's very difficult to get it mixed with a big batch of beeswax that we're going to melt later. So we just keep on stirring, but we don't want it to overheat and burn. We just keep on stirring like that, and slowly and surely it will start to melt into the beeswax. And when it's all melted, then we go to the next step. I was so happy to find this Damar crystals on the island. We have a big store here called Mr Bricolage, and they sell all kinds of very interesting art material which other places don't stock. And when I saw it, I bought all of their Damar crystals because I don't know when they will have it again. And so here I am stirring away. I added 40 grams to 250 grams of beeswax, and in my next video you'll see what we do with this, and it's going to be very amazing. It's going to be absolutely amazing. It's a beautiful day out here at Mauritius. It's winter. The winter temperatures are as warm as it is in summer in Europe, because we live on a tropical island, and it's always warm here. It hardly ever gets cold that you need to put on a jersey. But funny enough, the local people think it's cold by now, and those that are not used to the European weather have already put on their jackets, and think it's quite funny. But then remember that usually the temperatures are very high. The temperatures are up in the 30s, and with a humidity of 80 plus, and that can become uncomfortably hot. Humans are not built for that kind of temperature and that humidity. And they say, yeah, you will acclimatize, but I don't think you ever do. It's a very humid place to live in. Some people can't stand it, and then they move to colder climates again. So slowly but surely our mix is coming together, and we just keep on stirring and stirring and stirring and stirring. It's a bit of a process, and eventually all of it will be mixed up, and then we'll start to mix up the big batch. Encaustic paint have been used from about 1,500 years before Christ, when they were building the Egyptian tombs in the time of Ramses. They were using encaustic paint as funerary masks, and some of them have been found intact, and they look like they've been painted yesterday, because beeswax is a very durable material, and it doesn't decompose or anything. Okay, I'm going to take this off now, then I'm going to add my big container. I'm going to put that in there, and now I'm going to add this little bit to the big batch over there and melt it down. But take care, look at all the dirt in the bottom of this container. So don't throw all of it in, because the very bottom part of your container always has a lot of the Damar residue in it. It's important to stir it because we are melting at a slightly higher temperature that we usually use, otherwise it won't get melted down. If this was touching more, it would melt quicker, but it's fine, we have the time. On the island life is a bit slower, it's not as rushed as people in the cities, and we have plenty of time here. That's the beauty of retirement. Once you retire, you have all the time in the world. That's great. I've got Sunny here behind the camera. Sunny is a friend of mine, and he's a local Mauritian. We studied in the UK for 2 years, and there they did some filmmaking. So thank you, Sunny, for helping me to make this video today. It's really great to have you behind the camera. Yeah, that's great. So it's gonna take a while, people. The problem is, once you burn this, then it goes very dark, and once it goes dark, then you can just as well throw it away. So we don't want to burn this. We just want to keep on stirring it so that it doesn't burn. When you work with the beeswax, it's best to put a lot of protective gear on. I haven't got anything on at the moment, but you should wear rubber gloves, but it's very difficult here in Mauritius to put on rubber gloves because of the high humidity. So I just get dirty and then I get clean again. The other thing is, make sure that you work in an outside area where you can dribble a bit, because there where that wax falls, it doesn't come off again. The wax is just something else. It just sticks to whatever surface you put it on. The wax itself is a protective medium. They use it in furniture making. They put beeswax on furniture, and it protects the furniture for hundreds of years. That was the old type of wax, because once this dries, you must know, once this dries, you can polish it to a high sheen. And this is the beauty of encaustics, is that you can make a painting, and then without having to put a varnish on, you just buff it up with a soft cloth, and you'll get a high sheen on it. So we just keep on stirring away until it is all melted in. Until it's all melted in. I live in Trou, which is on the east of the island, and the beaches around here are some of the most beautiful beaches in Mauritius. Snorkeling is fantastic. There's a lot of water sport that takes place in this part of the island, and also deep sea fishing goes out from here, and it's really just such a lovely part of the island to live on, due to the fact that there's some loads of restaurants in walking distance from us, and here in Mauritius they have a no tolerance policy on drunken driving, and so it's best to go to a restaurant in walking distance from where you are, or to take a taxi when you go home if you had a glass of wine, because if the police catches you, then you will definitely be in trouble. And I love that about the island, because you don't see that many accidents. You also don't see drunkenness around here. I haven't really seen a lot of drunkenness since I've been here. People are very well, very well behaved, I would say. In the evening you would drive on the highway, and then there would be an alcohol testing station, so all the cars would be stopped and you would have to blow into, and it would be random, you never know where they are. That's lovely about the island. This beeswax comes from Mauritius. It's by one of the local guys here. I can purify it further, but I like the raw nature of it. The brown color appeals to me. And if I purified it further and I made it more white with less impurities in it, then I could maybe do more with it, but I like to use it just as it is. And we're finally getting to a place where, look, that's the only large piece of wax that we have left, only that piece there. And so our wax is now slowly melting into this mix. That is your encaustic wax. That's our encaustic wax, and I appreciate you watching this video. It was fun having you here, and if you do any encaustics and you want to teach me a couple of tricks, then please leave your comments down in the comment block, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I am looking for more subscribers, so that we can have a whole community of artists out there who follow me, and who can comment on the different posts that I'm posting. And I'm enjoying making these videos, and I hope that you have fun making wax and working with wax. God bless.